guys, welcome to TOBI TV channel. Guys, another good news day on the ground. And just in case the first time you're meeting me or you're seeing this channel, please help us to subscribe, like, and comment on the videos. What we do basically in this channel is strictly news broadcasting of any kind, news about Biafran and everything concerning the Biafran government, Biafran Liberation Army, Biafran all right? All right, so guys, as we all have it, the Israeli nation recognizes Biafra as a nation, all right? So, and also another update that you would find very interesting is that the letter for recognition of the United States of Biafra is in the desk of the president of Nigeria, Tinubu, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, right? So I'm going to let you guys to see and listen to every update that this particular video brings to you. And we'll be back on other updates.
People. And of course, one will be wondering how the Jew understand that actually this is our blood. It's like blood is thicker than water.
Yes, I can tell you that very clearly. It is one of the things Nnamdi Kanu started making very clearly, and we was able to introduce some form of religion in synergy with the Jewish worship. And what's this with Jewish worship? That Judaism, synagogue, Sabbath. All those kind of things has been introduced and people are beginning to adopt. See, there's no two ways about it. We do not have any option that embrace the reality of who we are. And what is the reality of who we are? The Igbos is being believed to have this synergy, to have this connection, to have this doctrine, to have this divinity with the God, and knowing fully well that what we are talking about started from Seth, not from Abraham.
But at what point did Biafrans, Igbos realize that they are Jew?
That's what I'm telling you. If you look at what Seth, Seth came before Abraham. The Jews became the Hebrews. The Jews, the Hebrews, the Israelis, became significant under Abraham. We were trying to tell you ours started from the days of Seth. Where their kingdom started, evolving over the years to a point that it got to Abraham and it became very significant. The thing is that because of regeneration and generational change over the years, there was a time that the entire history of this world was lost for over centuries. I can tell you, go and check record.
Yes, I had to talk about the place I can read.
Yes.
How the historical, archaeological fact you can get from Uri actually point to the point that Biafrans are Jew.
Yes, like I said it very before because I participated in the burial ceremony of former Super Eagles player Emmanuel Emenike. Yes.
And you saw for yourself?
Yes, I saw. I was at Uri. If you go to Uri today, every hamlet, every corner, every place, every village, every Okporo, you know what we call Okporo? Heritage, ancient heritage. If you enter Uri, any palace, any place you enter, you will see Star of what? David. You cannot see it anywhere in Nigeria apart from Uri. You see it. You see the one ancient. You read the history. They will take you to where Uri. You see the progenitors. How it came to a point. Even Igala was one of the sons of Uri. Eri, as at that time. It is Igala. You're talking about Igala. This is Igala, Kogi State. So you when you look at all those things, it gives you a sense of reasoning that actually, because you cannot be what you are not. These people have kept this history, this trace, this understanding, psychology, everything, right from the beginning of time. It's not something that started now.
That may have explained the reason the Jew protected Nnamdi Kanu when he escaped from Nigeria after the operation.
Yes, Nnamdi Kanu was found there, in Jerusalem because he has already had a part as a Jewish man. He has already identified himself with the Jewish worship. He has already understand himself as someone who believe in that category. Remember what he told the court at that time. He made it very clearly that I am a Jew. I am a Jew. He said, who are you? He said, I'm a Jew. And what makes you a Jew? Can you be able to produce? Yes, and he did exactly that. Bros, we cannot be what we are not. That's the thing. And not only that, everything that Igbo man does points to that direction, that Igbo man has that significance with the reality of the Jews in the Bible. I'm not talking about the Jews of the present day, the Jews of the Bible. The Jews of the Bible is what I'm talking about. So, and like I was explaining, that after centuries, the world history was wiped away from the earth. A researcher, a man came up and brought back some certain ones they can lay their hand on. And unfortunately, Biafra was one of the things they laid their hand upon. As a kingdom, as at that time. So what does that? And what was the story? He said that these people behave like the ancient Jews of Israel.
But Mr. I want to take it to an angle because you did said the other day that Igbos are the fourth richest in the world, fourth richest tribe in the world. Is it the Jewish lineage they derive that strength?
Bros, okay, if you want to try it now, start business with an Igbo man in one particular place and see what will happen after 5 years. You will notice that Akachukune, there's divinity in what he's doing.
There's hand of God.
Yeah, there's hand of God, because that what you're seeing is already a covenant that has taken place many centuries by his great grandfathers that entered into covenant with God. And God is God of covenant. God knows how to represent covenant. That is it. So you see what is happening to Igbo, the Igbo rise, the way Igbos do their something, it's not just ordinary. It's as a result of the covenant they have entered with Tuku Okike Abiyama, the God of Abraham,
the God of creation.
The God of creation. And that has, look at what is happening to Israel today. It's not as a result of covenant they have entered with God. It's the same covenant that we entered with God. We are the children of Jacob, Isaac, and Abraham.
Okay, now let me bring it back to Nigeria, where RFI have actually rocked the boat. Remember that RFI played a significant role in Tinubu emerging the president in 2023, and surprisingly, he was not accommodated in Tinubu's government. And RFI come out clearly to say that it was not any security report that deprived him from being screened, that the president at the point changed his mind and didn't want him in his cabinet. Of course, he said he had told the president like that. But the point here is, RFI made a very categorical statement that the same way a Jonathan could not return for a second term, that Tinubu is going to go to Jonathan.
Of course, before I look, I want to conclude on the issue of Fubara, finally, and I want to pass a certain message to the issue surrounding that Fubara. I just want to mention one thing, and unfortunately, it has become very clear on the side of the Supreme Court that they are very biased. The Supreme Court is no longer, it's a shame. It's a pure disaster. This alone is enough to destabilize the whole Nigeria. That judgment by the Supreme Court. Justice for Sunday Jackson too. The world is taking note, the American government is taking note, and I can tell you, that the militants in Niger Delta have finally returned to the Greeks, waiting for because what we're going to see is civil unrest, chaos, war, and disintegration.
Okay, that's it.
That's what we are going to see. So finally, to RFI, has always been a major force. You can't take that away. We saw when they wanted to form a coalition many years ago under Jonathan. It was RFI that the Northerners delegated to meet with Fashola, and after meeting with Fashola, they factored Arabeshola and the rest of them in, and Tony Momo took advantage of that, and that was how Bola Ahmed Tinubu came in, and they were able to form a coalition that removed Jonathan from power. I may not like Erufai as a person, but this is a matter of the gathering. I can't say they are spent forces, but I can tell you it's a gathering of people who want to see how to wrestle power from the APC. The northern political elite have made it very clearly that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a burden to Nigeria currently. Now that's from the northern axis, and anything that will, and the north is not going to take over power. The north is not interested to take over power 2027. But what the northern Nigeria is saying at this point is that a certain replacement for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and I can tell you categorically clear that agenda will fly.
So the way it is now, RFI shut down Tinubu's ambition of 2027.
Of course, now a complete shutdown. It's shutting down in the sense that we are going to see, according to Olubulaye, I think former PDP publicity secretary Olubudia told us PDP's publicity secretary that made it very clear. He said the kind of opposition that is going to come at this point in time, Nigerians have never seen it and they have not witnessed it. So having moved to SDP, of course, there's going to be an understanding of Kwankwaso coming in. There's going to be an understanding of Atiku coming in. There's also going to be Kwankwaso of a big factor, which is going to be considered as a major factor in getting the ticket of the opposition at the end of the day. But I can tell you now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is already giraffing, trying to know what is going on within the circle, and everything is being kept in the secret. But the Lion of Bodlum, according to call him now, will be surprised to be the first governor, president, Nigeria, and come 2027, where another replacement is going to take place. Another factor is the Donald Trump factor. Of course, we know the role Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Buhari, and the rest of them played under Biden and Obama that saw Jonathan, lose power. And Donald Trump is also there, and it looks like Donald Trump does not fancy Bola Ahmed Tinubu at all, and there has been crack on his international image and his relationship with the United States of America, and it's a factor. Nigeria is a factor. Nigeria is a point of reference when it comes to African politics. So at that point, Tinubu should be prepared. If care is not taken, he might end up becoming, another Jonathan in this regard, just like Erufai is trying to get the attention of Bola Ahmed Tinubu to the point that this is exactly what is going to happen to him come 2027. He might not smell Aso Rock again.
Okay, now let's look at the statement that came from Erufai the other time, that before Jonathan's election of 2015, that the Jonathan's kinsmen were denigrating the North, despising the North, and that Jonathan paid for it. That currently the Yorubas are despising the North, that a Tinubu is likely going to pay for it. What look like saying like Jonathan, like Tinubu?
No. What I'm saying is that I don't think that kind of statement is important now, because what we are looking at is that how they are going to come up with something formidable, with a force, with a movement, that will wrestle power from the APC, irrespective of what they are doing. We saw Buhari, practice all manner of nepotic tendencies, and Tinubu is showing the same line too. Forget he gave also 250 billion for Southeast Development Commission. That one is just to mobilize for his election and whatever in the area. But I can tell you, Tinubu never won South. He never won Southeast. He lost in Ondo. Obi won in all these areas. Obi won in Aso Rock, won in Lagos, won everywhere. But I can tell you, by calculating that, he has a major significant vote from the north and some, I think, from the west too. But he never wins South and Southeast. What does that tell you? That if he loses north, Tinubu is nothing to write home about come 2027. And of course, we are going to see all these factors being played out 2027. The South and the Southeast will not support Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Well, unless he's trying to use Mazen Nnamdi Kanu as a bet come 2027, where we are seeing different lawyers assigned to attend to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case, everybody is running away. Even the new one they are just appointed now has disappeared. He said he cannot afford to tamper with his integrity over Nnamdi Kanu's case. That Nnamdi Kanu is as innocent as the air, and the federal government is just mainly trying to take him from treasonable charges to terrorism. They don't have any case against Nnamdi Kanu, and that Nnamdi Kanu should be free. If Tinubu is looking at that angle, that Nnamdi Kanu will be used to get support from the Southeast come 2027. Audio Kali has entered the wrong ground. Let us see how it's going to play out at the end of the day. But I can tell you that what awaits Tinubu come 2027 is bigger than what Tinubu is currently seeing as the president of Nigeria.
Okay, should Tinubu releasing Nnamdi ahead of 2027 presidential election, do you think it's not going to work for him as a bait?
It will not work for him, you understand? Nnamdi Kanu has defeated Nigeria. They are even recommending that this kind of person should be tried in the ICC. Nigeria is not qualified to try somebody Nnamdi Kanu. According to Binta Yanko, he said that Nnamdi Kanu is a higher reality and someone who is supersonic. You know, his brain is supersonic, intelligent, stubborn, a legal astute. You know, he said a lot of things about Nnamdi Kanu. That he actually loves Nnamdi Kanu. That's what he said. That he actually loves him. You know, so that's to tell you the level of admiration and support and followership Nnamdi Kanu is even enjoying within the circle of the government of Nigeria, where a lot of people admired him, you know, for his resilient spirit. You know, so you understand that every Igbo man is going to behave like Nnamdi Kanu against Tinubu, because when we are seeing Tinubu, we are seeing Nigeria. We are not going to look at Tinubu as a Yoruba man. We are going to look at Tinubu as a Nigeria, where we come to issue that will determine who is going to be there at the next president come 2027.
So lastly, it then mean that when the Northern Elders Forum said that it was a mistake voting for Tinubu or supporting Tinubu in 2023, that a mistake they said they don't hope to repeat in 2027, it means they meant every word they use.
The North can never be trusted. We can never trust them. I can remember too that the APC still enjoy some states, as in some APC governors. We still having APC governors in the North, and they are very significant. And unless they decide to play some certain game like we are hearing now, some senators are already decamping to SDP as a result of the action taken by, El-Rufai in that direction. So we are going to see a lot of alignment and realignment at the end of the day. And that's when we begin to see how strong Bola Ahmed Tinubu political structure is in the North, and what the Northern threat against Tinubu 2027, what it looks like at the end of the day. The North, yes, Tinubu is a burden. They keep on saying it. Unfortunately, they are just realizing. But these are the things we have seen before now, that instead of using their brain, they are trying to match politics with religion. And this is the consequences, because they are complaining that the number of hunger in the land has increased from 30% to 75% under Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So it's quite alarming. And if care is not taken, it can lead them to something they will not be able to come out from. So the only way for them to do that is to make sure that Tinubu does not return to Asuro. Come what may, 2027, and they're standing by their words and the meaning. And another factor is the issue of the tax, threat, which is being seen as a plus in the South, which is not, for me, it's not a plus. So the tax issue is also a threat, and the North is already seeing it as an anti-North policy, which they are trying to fight against at the end of the day. That's what it means.
Now, lastly, talk to us about Tinubu, who is going about in the North in what looks like trying to redeem the image of the father, trying to make the North have a back end of Tinubu 2027. We have seen him clearly in some video, sharing food items, sharing some palliative, whether in the name of Ramadan, but it looks like he wants to retain the image of the father in the north.
No, what Tinubu he want to do is that he want to register his presence politically, that he's not biased, he's a detribalized person, and if actually they are going to give him a space in Lagos to start with, that he's going to try his best. Another factor is maybe trying to market his father ahead of 2027, because I cannot understand very clearly that Tinubu has already started campaign in the north, ahead of 2027. So, and Tinubu might be at the forefront in the north there, trying to do some clearing for his father to retain the presidency come 2027. But on a normal ground, Sheyi as a person, I do not have any reservation for him. I saw him as a young man. I don't know his background, his character so much. But from what I'm seeing, the guy is a smart politician. From what I'm seeing about him, and he understands his little way, his little beginning, and he had no option than to carry on like that. Whether he's going to become the next governor of Lagos State or not, what matters is that if he's ambitious, then let him go and test his popularity come 2027. But for his father, well, he has every right to support, to appeal to the Northerners, by going there physically to appeal to them that, oh, please, this is the policies. Under the image of the father, seek for solidarity from the north, seek for the support. If that's actually why he went to the north, and started sharing food and all that, well, that's okay for him. And that's what the only strategy he thinks he can use, to get the attention of the Northerners over some of the policies Bola Ahmed Tinubu is carrying out as his government is coming to the end of his first term. Sheyi, Alan too is married to an Igbo woman. I don't know how true is that, but I can tell you that if he's ready to govern Lagos State, come out, let us see who you are, let us know you. And then maybe from there, I will begin to have a bigger assessment of what Sheyi Tinubu is all about, whether it's going to be different from his father or he's going to play the same politics his father is playing. Unfortunately, a lot of people are disappointed in Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, including some Yorubas. I can tell you that. It is even worse and funny that a Southerner was not able to be sophisticated enough to champion democracy principles and leadership and dividends in Nigeria, having had most of the time for Northerners coming as president, and we have not been able to get to a level where the inflation is hitting over 50% to 60% in just less than a lot of bad policies and all that. So everybody just surprised and disappointed, and that's why everybody seeing Tinubu as a burden. And remember, they're not are also regretting, because this kind of leadership can only lead to loss of hope and patriotism. Now that will lead to people clamoring for disintegration of the country, and the North doesn't want to hear